I started my own debate mate, but in Minecraft. For those of you who don't know, debate mate is where two groups of people sit down and have segments in which they must defend or be against a statement made, despite how much they agree and or disagree with it. So today, I'm joined with both President Poundcake and KyleEff with the statement, speedrunning is more entertaining than Minecraft SMPs. Poundy is defending the statement, whereas KyleEff is against it, and each person has been given a week to prepare for this and will be given 2 3-minute segments to state their points, with the chance for you, the viewer, to decide the winner. It was agreed upon before recording that KyleEff would get us started for today.
I am a speedrunner, and I am also a SMP player. I have perspective about both sides in terms of content and actually doing both things, and it is a quintessential fact that SMP content is just better content for the viewer than speedrunning. There are so many different avenues that you could go with SMP, and it really embodies the idea of Minecraft, which is a sandbox game. Story-driven content on SMPs, whether it be an actual lore setting or some kind of story they were trying to tell with a narrative behind conflict between two people or multiple people, is just much more entertaining than speedrunning content, where there's not really a set story that you can follow for a viewer. You can jump in at any time with speedrunning, that's no doubt, but the complexity that there is for a viewer to face for the first time is really, really high for speedrunning. Speedrunning Minecraft is one of those things that has been broken down to a science in multiple ways. Speedrunning content is something that I can watch and understand because I speedrun the game, but for my brother that doesn't speedrun the game, it would be very hard for him to jump in for the first time and understand what's going on. However, SMP content is something that any average Minecraft player can get into immediately because it just revolves around one thing: surviving in the game. All that there is on top of that is just storytelling, and that's what makes it so much better. You can create a world, and it's like a novel, a movie, or something like that, where you can sit down for the first time and understand what's happening from start to finish and feel engaged the entire time. There's no other reason other than that speedrunning is better content. I mean, the only story that you could possibly tell is about the people behind the speedrun itself, but you have two parts of that story in SMP content. You have the actual gameplay, the actual story behind it, and the people carrying it out. They over time have developed a strategy and delivery style that works for all types of viewers, and there's a reason why it dominates the Minecraft YouTube scene as well as the live streaming scene. I mean, back in 2020, when the Dream SMP was the most popular form of content in the entire world on Twitch and YouTube, that was dominating what we saw all day long on all those platforms, and it still upholds today. There's plenty of people still having those kinds of discussions about SMP content, and has spanned since the birth of Minecraft. You look at servers like Minecraft and Hermitcraft that have lasted for years and spanned, I'll call it, generations of Minecraft content. Speedrunning has not done that, and for that very reason, speedrunning is just not better content than SMP content.
I am here to argue a true fact that speedrunning is inherently more entertaining than SMP content. And there's several different factors that play into this. I'm glad you mentioned the Dream SMP, because do you want to know why Dream became big? It's because of his speedrunning manhunt content. People were fascinated with his ability to beat the game quickly, and that's all you need. People come in and watch the streams. They'll even watch no mic streamers. No mic streamers will get Twitch partner level numbers, not saying a single word, just speedrunning Minecraft and just resetting the wall, and still get so many viewers because people just want to see how talented and incredible they are at the game. Speedrunning has also lasted in the long term. The era of SMPs comes and goes. It ebbs and flows. I feel like there's some strong periods where, like 2020, 2021, there's a big blow up. There's so many SMPs popping off, and yet there's also down periods. Like, I would say recently, it's kind of been a downturn. There hasn't been that massive SMP explosion that we saw in years past. While speedrunning has been a thing since Minecraft was invented, and there's been top tier speedrunners getting world records and competing and being watched and getting that kind of viewership since Minecraft was created. Viewers watch SMPs for the people while they watch speedruns for the gameplay. I don't think that you can get more entertaining in Minecraft than doing an actual speedrun. While the majority of people who tune in for an SMP will only watch their favorite creator do it, and those people would watch their favorite creator do anything, honestly. Additionally, there's been way more SMP players who have gone on to speedrun and committed more time to speedrunning than vice versa. The majority of speedrunners who try out SMP content, I would know, I am one. I've been invited to a few SMPs. They play for a day and then they realize, hey, this isn't actually all that fun. It's not something I can commit to. Another thing is that scripted SMPs rely, or not even scripted, but scripted and semi-scripted SMPs rely on the writing ability of the creators. And a lot of the time, that is inconsistent. The actual core gameplay is secondary to the story. And if those SMP creators are unable to craft an entertaining and engaging story, then that SMP takes a massive hit in terms of entertainment value. Whereas speedrunning, again, it's just players being the best they can be, and you don't really need to rely on any other aspect.
Okay, first and foremost, the thing you brought up about Dream is very true. He did have wide success with the manhunts, but he actually started his career by analyzing the PewDiePie seed and went from there and evolved his content from there. You could also argue that a lot of his live content and the core of his fan base have spawned because of the Dream SMP and the creators that he brought on and engaged in a story that they drew out for years and years. The viewers were engaged with the creators and were invested in said story and were able to relate to their content creators of choice in a meaningful manner. As well as the fact I said before, they're uplifting different creators. Multiple creators can do an SMP at the same time. Now, I know about their speedruns that are for people that are doing it like 10 people, 2 people, trios, whatever it may be, but that's a very minuscule amount compared to an SMP. There would be moments on the Dream SMP where they would have over 1 million concurrent viewers across different channels and have 20 plus people streaming at that very moment, engaging viewers around the world. I mean, that's the reason why Minecraft had such a huge popularity surge during that time period, especially during the pandemic. SMP content also has been around for much longer than speedrunning. I mean, you look to the very first versions of Minecraft content, it's on Minecraft servers. It's people playing together. It's the Yogscast. It's Sips and Jin. It's people like that that have really shaped and paved the way for content creators there. Now, people have been drawn to Minecraft survival because of the fact that it's so simple to go around, and they've been able to layer a ability of storytelling on top of that. And yes, it's true that there's a bunch of content creators that are just not very good storytellers, but the contrast to that is that there's people creating literal movies like the Minecraft Parkour Civilization that is so popular right now, and it's exploding and transcending across multiple different forms of media because it's so popular and so easy to consume. Now, that in and of itself is a survival multiplayer experience. It's a story that's layered on top of it. Speedrunning just doesn't have that ability to engage a wide audience for the very first time, and it's not able to transcend. The only way that it's able to transcend different forms of media is if you're interested in video games and you're interested in being good at said video game. Now, I'm not going to deny that that statement is true. It's one of the most popular forms of any type of video game, but this is transcending into regular forms of media, into television shows, into movies, and we've seen content creators really explode because of that fact. Now, if you look at the biggest Minecraft contest in the world, Minecraft Championship, majority of those creators are SMP creators. How many of them are speedrunners, top speedrunners? It's Feinberg, it's Pizza Hut, it's Curryway. Who else? Not many are speedrunning at the highest level and have a huge fan base because of speedrunning. Again, like I said, a lot of those people are SMP primary creators and have shared with their audience the ability to have a competitive setting for them and expanded across all of those viewers for years and years. They started in 2019. It's almost 2025 now. That's 6 years of primary SMP content creators, even through that entire time period. And before that, going into these major contests and showing the world that SMP content is superior to any form of Minecraft content.
So I'm going to first start off with the MCC point. Yes, there are plenty of SMP players who are in MCC, but there's also plenty of speedrunners. And if you look at those people whose kind of view count boosts during MCC, you'll see a lot of those players are with a speedrunning background. If you look at Fruitberries or Feinberg, those are the S tier players in MCC, and those are some of the most entertaining POVs to watch because of how many skills translate between being a good speedrunner and being good at the game in general. There's not to say that there aren't some talented SMP players out there who are just good at Minecraft in general, but the vast majority, I would say, of S tier event players, if that's what we're going with, and some of the most entertaining POVs, I wouldn't say are necessarily have a primarily SMP background. Now, another thing, you said that, speedrunning takes a long time to pick up, or new viewers might not be able to pick up what's going on. And that's another thing I disagree with, because you will see so many big streamers come in and watch, like Kai Cenat a few weeks ago, XQC. You'll see so many massive streamers come in, look at Minecraft speedrunning once and be like, this is something that's like very entertaining and something that I really want to do. You'll see them look into MCSR ranked. There was actually a trend a while back where CSGO players or professional like CS players were looking at Minecraft speedrunning. I believe Rops was one of them, and being like, wow, this is fun, this is entertaining, this is something I want to try. And it's not necessarily easy to be an elite player, but the concept of just load the game and beat it, that's very easy to get into. And then there's so much room for growth between that and then learning all these Bastion strats, and then, oh, wait a minute, I can use this wall to like decrease loading times and all that stuff. There's so much of a ceiling there that is so far, and there's so much room to grow. Another thing I will say is that, yes, I feel like SMPs have kind of the boom or bust of, there will be an SMP every few years or every so often where everything comes together, the player base and the fans and the storytelling, and it comes together for that perfect storm where it's a hugely successful, hugely entertaining SMP. You have Dream SMP, for example. You have Yogscast back in the day. You do have, if you want to say Parkour Civilization is an SMP, then you have that at the moment. But on a more consistent, steady basis, I think speedrunning is always there, and speedrunning has always been entertaining. You look at someone like Feinberg, you look at Silver, they have these consistent, for the last 3-4 years, viewer base case of just watching 99% of the time speedrunning.
Now that both people have had a fair amount of time to state their arguments, it's down to you, the viewer, to decide the winner. In the pinned comment below, you can find a poll to vote on, which will expire in 2 weeks from this video being uploaded. If you're watching this after the 2 weeks or want to share who you voted for, comment below. If you enjoyed this video and would like to know if all Minecraft SMP creators think the same, be sure to click the video on the screen right now.